Hello, my name is Charmesia Allen, and we are recording some interviews for Women's History Month, and it is powered by YaLife Media and Reaching Houston. And please join us. We are going to interview and explore women in healthcare, women in STEM, and hopefully you enjoy the interviews and learn something. Welcome to Women's History Month interview series powered by Your Life Media and Reaching Houston. My name is Charmesia Allen, your host, and today I am interviewing Dr. Arshada Hayes. Dr. Arshada Hayes, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Arshada Hayes. I am a doctor's prepared nurse, and I'm excited to be here for Women's History Month.
Awesome, awesome. So let's talk about being a doctor prepared nurse. What was your journey to get there? Because you were a doctor by 30, correct?
Yes, by 30. So I believe the whole process came down to actually having a support system. My husband was very supportive throughout the process. And so I went the traditional track of the non-traditional track, I'll say, of actually going through step by step of becoming a nurse. So I started off as an ADN. I later transitioned and got my bachelor's degree, then later transitioned with my master's, and then went back later and got my doctoral degree. And so I'll say being consistent, having perseverance and not giving up. Actually, every time I fail, I learn from it, and so not actually stopping and thinking, okay, I didn't do so good on this test. How am I going to get to the next phase? Or I may not really understand a certain subject, but how do I get to the next step? I think a lot of prayer, a lot of commitment, fasting, and actually keeping my faith and actually exploring and getting closer to God was one of those biggest things that kept me and I was able to move forward. But especially having a good support system around me.
Awesome, awesome. You actually hit on my next question, like what helped
Okay.
you what helped you to persevere through those challenges, through the disappointment, like, hey, I may have not done well on this test, but it's so true is the mindset. So let's talk about like what you do every day. So
Okay.
what field of nursing are you in?
So I'm currently in the quality aspect of nursing, and so I'm a quality manager at one of the hospitals here in the Houston area called Lyndon B. Johnson Hospital. We branch off from a Harris Health System, and so I work for one of the pavilions, LBJ. And so basically, the day to day for me is to actually ensure that our patients are receiving quality care, and so that's basically what my role encompasses. We ensure our patients are safe. We want to go above 100%, and we want to ensure we're providing the best possible care no matter what. And it's very important for the population that we serve because the population we serve has various disparities. They don't have access to food, they come from low income homes, and they may not be able to go out and get the nutrition that they deserve and need in order to get over those different ailments. And so it's very important that me as a quality manager, I'm like an ally and a voice of reason in their resource. And so not a lot of hands on as I was in the beginning of my nursing career with patient care, but the fact that I'm able to coach other nurses and say, hey, we got to make sure we're doing X, Y, and Z in order to ensure our patients are safe. We're not causing any harm, reviewing cases, looking for opportunities for improvement. And that really gets us to a goal of zero and 100% of patient safety as our main goal, because we never stop looking at the goal. And so our goal is to ensure our patients are treated just as good if they were millionaires as opposed to being low on the poverty line.
I love that you said that because it's all about equity, right? Health, and
Hmm.
right now that's what we're focusing on is the healthcare equity. And I want to share that. we are doing our best in all healthcare arena to ensure that we are not only building the healthcare equity, but also the access, allowing people
Yes.
the access. And so, if you want more access to healthcare, you can reach out. We will be putting some resources on reachinghouston.org
Okay,
for you
great.
to be able to, yes. So you could come if you have questions, or how do I find this healthcare resource, pregnancy resource. I need a new doctor resource. We'll be providing that to you. So, who was your mentor?
So throughout the course of my career, I've had several mentors. Starting off as a little girl, I would say my grandmother was my mentor, and I think it was very important to establish that mentorship because she taught me the power of prayer. And I feel like prayer was something that got me through a lot of obstacles that I had to face in life. And so that was my foundation. My parents were very supportive as well. They kept us in church. We were grounded at a young age. And having that foundation, not coming from a big family that went to different colleges and had those different backgrounds in nursing, but having a family that believed in faith and established those values early in life were really good. So I think I had a good foundation with that. As I grew up and went throughout high school, I had different teachers that would take me on. They seen something in me. I had that light. I remember back in elementary school, one of my teachers was Miss Mendez, and she was from Ghana. And I was like, had no idea where she actually originated from. And she was like, "You're gonna go places. You can't do what everybody else does." And I took that and I listened to her and actually went through that process of saying, "Okay, if you're going on this road, then you have to be a role model." And so that was something that I will hear a lot. You going down this path, you have to, carry yourself appropriately because somebody is looking up to you. Not saying I wanted that responsibility because it's hard when somebody's looking up to you for their next step. And so just various people along the road. I would go and transition to different positions, and I had different people that would take me up under their wings. And I think that's very beneficial in nursing because the saying that the nurses eat their young is true, and I've seen it be done to so many nurses. But gratefully, and by the grace of God, I had people to take me under their wings and say, "Hey, keep pushing forward." After I got through and got my associate's degree, I met a nurse who was a traveler, and she told me, "You got to get your bachelor's degree." And I was like, "Oh, I just got through with my associates. I don't want to particularly get my bachelor's degree." But I kept going. She was a seasoned nurse. She had, experience. And so I took that conversation and, listened to her wisdom and her kindness. And I reapplied and, got into the bachelor's program and continued to move forward. One of my biggest supports has been my friend, Raven, and she's like a sister to me. And we motivate each other, and as we transition through our different phases of our lives, and gracefully we have been pushing each other so hard that we went to our bachelor's degree together, our master's, and we did our doctoral degree together. And so it's very important that you have people surrounded by you that are actually on their road. You can't just surround yourself about people that are negative and don't have a clear path or can pull you along, because all the time, you're not going to be standing on your feet and able to push forward. You need some people to pull you along sometimes. And so just being grounded and having those different people, and I think that's what really helped me out a lot.
That was good, Shay. I'm sorry, Dr. Hayes. One thing that you said that I think is really important, and I think we need to just explore that just a little bit. Like how do you feel we as women, for women's, since we're talking about Women's History Month, how do you feel as women? How do we move forward to help push each other further in
Mhm.
our careers, in our family life, being more committed in our family life? How do you feel that we push forward?
So just being a listening ear, because sometimes you can just be somebody's ear to to listen. They may be having a hard time struggling between the day to day life of work versus their life and with the kids and making time for their husband or their different loved ones, their family, and so. Balancing life can be really hard, and just having someone you can just lean on and talk to, and not all the time looking for advice or you need to do this or you should do this, but just having somebody to vent to, and giving them tidbits when it's necessary, and having that opportunity to share with them how you made it over certain obstacles, and giving them that experience and saying, hey, I went through something similar to this is what I did, and these are the steps I took in order to be successful. Not saying you should do this, but I just want to give you my experience, but not more so pushing them to make a certain decision. You instill that wisdom in them and you kind of share those different experiences, and then you allow them to come and communicate and make their own choice as they go throughout their road, because you don't want to get to the point where you're shaming people, or you're at a point where they don't feel comfortable expressing themselves because it's like a judgment zone. And I see that a lot in relationships, and that's why a lot of people shy away from women's group, because they want to they tend to become a little catty, and it's a judgment zone. And so I try to be the non-judgmental friend, and I try to encourage people, you may fail, and I always tell people, you may fail, you may have a plan, you may think it's going to go perfectly, but if you fail, then you have to have the perseverance to keep pushing forward.
That's true because God's plan is perfect, right?
Yes.
So it's very strategic. So what you
Mm-hmm.
feel is a failure really is God redirecting you to the best
Yes.
plan that He has for you.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very true. And I love what you said about being that listening ear, because sometimes people don't want to hear your advice as much as it's I
Mm-hmm.
just want someone just to
Yes.
listen to what's going on, especially now
Mm-hmm.
during, so we're going to call it an endemic, that they've changed
An
the
endemic.
term now. It's not pandemic anymore, it's endemic,
Yes.
because it's with us, right? So we're trying to get back to normal, the new normal,
Mm-hmm.
as you
Yes.
will.
The new
So
norm.
right, the new norm. So I want to just tap on COVID just for a
Okay.
second. So anything you want to share about COVID updates from Harris Health?
So the numbers are down. That's something really good. I don't have all of the statistics, but what I will tell you in my experience and looking at the different data, we have seen more patients surviving this go round as opposed to those previous COVID surges. And so I believe the vaccine has had a significant impact on people's survival rate, because previously in the experience, and I my team reviewed mortalities, and so we had a significant loss, and it was a process of trying to go through and understand this new disease in a process. And so I will say it has been, recently we just got out of a surge, but the numbers are back down, and I think we're able to get those patients to be more so on the recovery med surge side versus in the ICU, so critical because they are coming in vaccinated.
Awesome. So I'm going to put a plug right there.
Hmm.
If you have not received your COVID vaccine, I
Hmm.
strongly encourage, if your doctor has not recommended that you not get the vaccine,
Hmm.
I strongly encourage that you get your vaccine, get fully vaccinated, and then after your 6 month has passed, then go ahead and do your third dose, your booster. Just by watching the sheer numbers.
Yes.
So I work for Houston Methodist, and just watching the sheer numbers nationally about the survival rates, me looking at the research, the AHRQ, just looking at which is the Agency of Healthcare Research and Quality. We look at overall data across the country, really across the world. We're looking
Yeah.
at how things are shaping up, and when we're looking at it, to be honest with you, the vaccine has saved so many lives. The data, the numbers are astronomical. At first, we really didn't know what we were dealing with. We were building. We actually were making the protocols and the processes on so many things to prevent the infection. But now it's more like making sure the endemic, like how do we live with this? It's going to be more like the how we live with the flu. How you're going to get your vaccine every year, and make sure that everybody's washing their hands. General protocol, but it's with us at this time. So. All right. Dr. Hayes, is there anything else that you want to share with everyone about Women's History Month? Or
I would just say, just as women, to get in a concept of pulling someone under your wings, just to actually mentor them, taking on, if it's just a phone conversation, maybe someone you see at work that you see something in them, uplift somebody. Every time you get an opportunity, it doesn't cost us a thing to be nice and polite and say something good about someone. It can be the motivation of saying, hey, you look nice today, I like your new hair, that's a pretty necklace you have on. And so just to encourage and uplift someone around you.
love that. I love that. We are encouragers of one another. We help build one another, and that's really important because we're kingdom builders. We're women builders, and it's so important. So. All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time, Dr. Hayes, and we hope that you have a wonderful day. And congratulations on the new
Thank
baby.
you. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that you enjoyed. For more information, please go to reachinghouston.org.